Egypt, Egypt. Oh, Egypt. That was a cool trip. My name is Junior, and I just recently went to Egypt to travel the entire country to gain inspiration for my art. I think I went to Egypt to create a painting. That's exactly why I went. Every year, I take a trip somewhere around the world. And this year, I took a trip to Egypt. Why did I go to Egypt? Because I've always wanted to go to Egypt. And in this video, I'm gonna do something a little different. Instead of just taking you on my travels and telling you about like art and what I saw and how I liked it and all the food, I'm actually gonna be creating a painting specifically for my trip so that you can understand what I did in Egypt and what I created when I got home. This is a masterpiece, so you're gonna wanna watch to the end. Egypt was real cool. I'm actually really happy that I took a trip out to Egypt. It was a trip that I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid. Now that I'm a full-time artist and wanting to adventure the world, I take trips every single year. Being able to take a trip out to Egypt to explore the pyramids, to take a look at the Valley of the Kings, to see the Red Sea in person, and to just be in the culture is honestly like a blessing. When I first got to Egypt, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. Whenever you travel to a country by yourself, of course, like there's nerves and there's fear and there's things that you're always dealing with mentally. But what made this trip a little different this time around was that I was meeting up with a tour group out there, and a tour guide from Egypt was gonna take us around and show us to all the locations that they thought that we definitely wanted to see. The first city that we landed in Egypt was Cairo. Cairo is the main city in Egypt. I got to eat some good food in Cairo. That was actually the best food that I actually had. One of the first things that we did was go to Al-Khalili Market, and many of you have probably heard of Al-Khalili Market. It's one of the biggest markets in the world, and you can buy souvenirs. This is one of the souvenirs that I got, and I'm very happy about this one. It's a statue of King Tut. In my time in Cairo, I got to see one of the biggest attractions that you can possibly ever see, the pyramids. That was the best thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. And when you get to see them in person, it's like, wow. Seeing them in person, there's something that comes through you. It's like you just want to stare at them because it's something that's like one of the 7 wonders of the world. As I'm exploring Cairo, the pyramids, and everything that we've been doing so far, my mind is like constantly going into like, what am I gonna create when I get home? Like, I wanna create a painting. I wanna do something like big. I wanna create a masterpiece that's gonna tell the story of my trip to Egypt. I was gaining so much inspiration with every site and every place that we visited. You truly find yourself when you take experiences like this, when you step out of your norm or you step out of your comfort zone and doing things. And when I think about like the painting that I wanted to create, I wanted to step out of the normal that I usually do with how I paint things. And I wanted to expand my horizons with this painting. And I wanted to really explore the depths of my artistic ability and push the boundaries some way, somehow. I had no idea how I was gonna do it, but I was figuring that out along the trip. So after exploring Cairo for about 2 to 3 days, we took a flight down to Aswan. And Aswan is in the southern parts of Egypt. When we made it down to Aswan, we actually stayed on the Nile. That was so cool. It was one of my favorite cities in Egypt. And in Aswan, we actually went to go see Abu Simbel. That was another like historic site that was on my list to see. It was really cool to see it. Of course, like when you go to these sites, the main attraction is the pharaohs. Like you are paying homage to the gods, to the kings, to the queens. And when you see them, you understood their presence. And that was something that I wanted to incorporate into this painting. So after Aswan, we sailed the Nile to Luxor. Didn't do the entire trip up to Luxor. I think we sailed maybe 5 to 10 miles. We were on this felucca boat, not very comfortable, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. What I loved about that boat ride, if I can take one thing away, was seeing like the palm trees from a distance. And I wanted to incorporate palm trees into my painting somehow, some way. And that night, we actually slept on this felucca boat. We docked by this like beach where some of the natives of that area and the people that were touring us in the felucca boat pulled out like instruments, and they made a bonfire for people just to like dance and listen to. And like, that was like such a really cool experience to like be with the people and hear their music. I was just really happy to be there at that moment. That was one of my favorite nights. After a good night's sleep, we woke up to a beautiful sunrise on the east bank of the Nile River, and we ate breakfast, moved on. We made our way to Luxor. So when we arrived to Luxor, we went to go see the Karnak temples. Karnak temples blew me away. Karnak temples truly surprised me. Seeing everything in person is just different. The question that I had was, how did they create these scriptures or these paintings, basically paintings and art on the walls, and they look so perfect and so beautiful? It's just like, oh my gosh, like my mind is just like trying to like understand all of it. It made me wonder and question about my skill set as an artist. Like, can you create perfect lines like that? Can you do this? Can you do that? That was another thing that I wanted to like incorporate into my paintings, is how can I resemble the things that I saw there, the art that I saw, and how can I like translate that into the painting that I wanted to create. I wanted to show homage to Egypt. I wanted everything to look almost like perfect, the same way I saw in these temples and in all these art that I saw. And this is what I created. I wanted to incorporate turquoise blue, and I wanted to incorporate the pyramids. I wanted to incorporate a pharaoh or a king of some sort. I wanted to incorporate the Nile and the palm trees. I wanted to incorporate everything. I wanted to incorporate the whole entire story in my whole entire experience in one canvas. And that was tough trying to wrap my mind around because I had so many ideas flowing. But this experience, the whole entire story, really took me to a place where I really wanted to tell the story of Egypt. And I decided to name the painting, May the Gods Be With You. I'm really happy with it, and I'm very proud of myself of creating a painting in this caliber. And this is a new style that I'm actually venturing into. I started it in 2024, and I'm working my way into it. And I'm actually gaining a lot more confidence in working with it and showing it out into the world. And as always, if you want to support my channel, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share it. And I really hope you enjoyed this painting and my experience in Egypt. Stay tuned, I got so much more coming out and can't wait to show you.